Yo, yo, yo. What's happening, man? What's going on with y'all? It's the Brain Show, man. You know what I mean? We getting ready for this fire debate tonight. You can hear me? Gonna do a quick little mic check real quick.
Yeah, you good. You good.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to see why you ain't sounding loud. Okay. But we good, man. Yeah, we getting ready for this little debate tonight, man, between Kamala Harris and or Vice President Kamala Harris, man, and former President Trump. We already know it's gonna be fire, man. So we figure, man, we do a little something about politics. Um, you know how it, how you make decisions on which politician you gonna go with. You know what what influences your decisions. How you decide what party you gonna be a part of. You know what I mean? Even if it's that party might do something that's completely against what you stand for, but because you decided to be with this team, you with it. Regardless, whatever they do, you gonna find an excuse to make it right. Am I right on that, man? Partner, brother Marcus in here with me, man. What's happening with you, boy?
What's up, Ken? What's up? Yeah, you pretty much hit that on the head. We're gonna discuss some of the mechanisms that go into play about that joint. You know how that go.
Yeah, already, man. So who we got in here tonight, man? We gonna let this thing build up a little bit, man. See you in here, Jolanda. You know what I mean? I see you doing big things, girl. See you doing big things. We ain't gonna, you know what I mean? But yeah, see you up in here. Who else we got? Taj, what's happening with you? Keenan Wright, what's going on? You know what I mean? And we know more people gonna come as the time go by. You know what I mean? But what's happening with you, man? How your day been, brother?
Pretty good, man. I'm just doing what I gotta do to get done what we need to get done. So
Okay,
then, this just is what it is.
okay. Let me see, man. How I turn you up in the microphone though?
Why you can't hear me really good?
I can hear you. I'm just I'm trying to see why you sound low, but I can hear you though. Good enough.
All right, let me see. Let me check my settings.
That might just be me though. How y'all can hear us out there? We sound clear? Nobody sound lower than the other? All right. Yeah, they said you good, bro.
Oh, okay. We good.
All right. So yeah, man, it's gonna be a interesting debate tonight, man. Who you got winning this thing, man? Or who you got coming off sounding like the better candidate tonight? What's your prediction?
I don't really have one, man, because it's too much to that play a role in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, what I tell you what I am concerned with, that we do have a candidate that doesn't have enough inhibition and self control that you got to mute the mics in between each other.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's I find that to be somewhat problematic, that an adult cannot control themselves enough to hold a conversation,
Well,
a public debate.
that's part of his tactic, man. It's really done on purpose, and he knows that that gets people going too. So while it might look, kind of distasteful to some, to others it might look like he's in control. He's commanding the audience. He's giving sticking it to the system, if that makes sense. While the other candidate might be relaxed, following the rules. He kind of that one that's like, yeah, he gonna say what he want when he want to and all that. You feel me? And a lot of people relate to that.
And that's just as problematic,
exactly. exactly. But I mean,
right?
it is what it is. It works sometimes. So I mean, I think it's gonna be good too, man. Uh, I could see Kamala, having the sharpness to hit him back. You know what I'm saying, to respond to his attacks, um, with class or whatever, and maybe throwing a few little jabs herself. She got time. you know what I mean? She ain't about no. She ain't no nothing to get ran over. Put it like that. You know what I mean?
Without a doubt.
She ain't no sucker.
I like to see him really tackle some policies though.
right, right.
I want to hear what they gonna say about what happened to Tyreek Hill.
Okay. I've been hearing about that, man. I haven't really digged into the story, but I'm seeing little posts here and there, kind of like low key, saying he was kind of at fault, and then others is, you know how it be sometime with us, man. Anytime a black person get locked up, we on their side regardless. But sometimes people do things to put themselves in situations, man. You think that was one of them type of things?
Not from what I heard so far. It's just there's a study out called The Prisoner's Dilemma.
Right.
Right. And in that I think it was Stanford study, right? They deal with guards and prisoners. And I think sometimes the results from that can be kind of the results of that can be problematic, right? In that situation. So you have
you said you with the one case, but go ahead.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know. We're supposed to be on here tonight. Where you at? Where you at? We need some, I mean? We need some women in the but go ahead. Go ahead, Mark. Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
In which you'll find that's the abuse of authority can quickly show itself, right? And so I'm looking at the case, and based on Florida law, because that's what we're dealing with, he really didn't do nothing wrong. It's just some people hold to you should just do what they say so you can make it home safe.
Okay.
Right. But we're in a situation in which we have rights.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you're not guilty because you stand up for your rights. I have a right to remain silent. So by me not saying anything, we can now say that that's an admission of guilt, right? Because I have a right to not have my car unreasonably searched or my person. I have that right.
If they ask you to search your car, you can tell them no.
Yeah, you absolutely can. Yeah. But if you tell them no and the situation escalates, now it's looking like you're being disagreeable. But right. In reality, it's just your right. I have that right not to answer any questions. I have a right to have an attorney. I have absolutely that right. And I'm saying as people, as humans, if we acknowledge that right, we can't now say people who express that right are guilty of anything.
True indeed.
So
hey man, I want to shout some more people that came in the building. Hey man, y'all feel free to hit the link too, man. We're not gonna be too strict on the guidelines today, man. We just having a little fun before the election. We had a little something we want to talk to about the brain's relation to how we vote and just politics in general. But yeah, feel free to hit that line, man. Let us know your thoughts, what you expecting to see tonight, man, on this debate that's happening in about 40 minutes. But what's up, Lisa, man? See you in the building. A good supporter, man. Long-time supporter. One of our best super supporters. Cedric, what's happening with you, man? I see you in the building. Who else we got in here, man? Let I saw one more. See Choco Kitty in there. I think I called you already. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
yeah.
You saying something?
Yeah, it's feedback. Okay. Yeah, Auntie Lisa, she's on it all the time, man. I really appreciate her continued support. She's on all her shows, doing the moderation, handling it well. I'm ecstatic by that.
Facts. Yeah, that's big facts.
Yeah.
Me and her be going at it in the Discord sometime, but it's all love, man. You know what I mean? You them Cowboys, man. I can't stand them, but gotta love Miss Lisa though.
Yeah, I tend to turn a blind eye to her fanatics.
Yeah,
with the Cowboys.
She a little, but we gonna work.
I give her a pass on that. Them birds is flying high though.
Yeah, I don't know about that either, but we gonna. Cedric, what's going on with you, man? What's happening, brother? Pseudo killer.
Peace, family. What it do? Kick dope, Kent. Chill.
Yeah, man. I'm just
What's up, Big Sad? What's up?
I'm good. Who else is on the panel? I don't see the name.
I saw
Stu Pease is here.
Oh, Stu Pease.
Long time. I haven't been on the panel a long time.
Oh man, my brother, been a minute.
Yeah, but this big fight night.
Yes, sir.
Nah, this is.
Night, I have to be on the panel.
You think it's gonna be fight night?
Of course, this is like a heavyweight bout. I guarantee that there's going to be 40 million people watching this debate.
Listen. We are going to get actual policy rhetoric from Kamala, which later on will lead to much analysis and debate. So for content creators like us, it's wonderful. And Trump is gonna give us every hilarious wild out of pocket comment you can imagine, which gonna have you cracking up. So it's a win-win situation.
No, what I want to see is a comparison of policy, because nobody can name the 3 actual Trump policy more than we're going to lock the borders and we're going to tax imports.
No, stupid. You're absolutely incorrect. I have the best policies. My policies are the greatest, and we're going to make America great again. Just trust me. My policies are the greatest policies. What have you got now? Then you got chaos on the border. My policies is going to fix the border. Yeah, economic policies. My policies are going to be the best in the world. I'm going to make America great again. I'm going to bring back manufacturing. That's what you're going to hear from Trump, bro.
Mm-hmm. He has no policy. And when I hear people talking, say she has no policy, I say, all right, I'll agree with you. But what are his policies? What are his policies?
And you see, Stupid, I think you're not a real American, so you don't understand what I mean when I say I'm going to make America great again. I told you. You're being quite disrespectful at this moment. I'm the former president of the United States. I know what's best for this country. I'm going to do what's good for you, black people.
That's what he's telling people, and people running with it. Listen, I don't business if she was black, Chinese, Indian, or she was a chair or an inanimate object, or she was a different species. If they put a tiger there, a lamb there, a bullfrog there, a cricket, a cockroach, I'm not voting for him, and I'm not throwing away my vote.
Stupids, I often say it. We exist when we look at the dynamics that play in these YouTube streets. You deal with extremes, right? You either deal with the other intelligence, or you deal with the conspiracy theorists, or etc. However, your general public, and we are going to explore that in the coming in this show, right? How the brain works. People don't be listening to policies. Let me give you a small insight. I got on top of Facebook, and when I was starting to launch my dog training services, my brother told me, people ain't gonna care how good you could train the dog. People will be more interested in you, and their interest in you as an individual is what they're gonna then choose your services for. Right. Trump, and go down the history of American presidents. Most of them, a lot of them were celebrities, people that are larger than life. Ronald Reagan, Hulk Hogan was president was governor for a while. He had Arnold Schwarzenegger. You see where I'm going? People that they tend to have a relationship with already in their mind, love or hate it. Trump is something that people are familiar with. He got TV shows, the Trump Towers. He was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It is, his name rolls off the tongue. Some people just like to do. That's it.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I don't think you meant Hulk Hogan. You meant Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor.
Arnold Schwarzenegger
was the governor, and not Hulk Hogan. Jesse Ventura. Sorry, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Shirt off.
Yeah, no, but the thing with Jesse Ventura, why I don't knock him, He actually served in the armed forces. He has some respect for authority. He was a man of character. Jesse Ventura, he was also a wrestler, but he had some history of service. I hear black people saying Kamala Harris is a DEI hire. When I hear black people say that, I get so frustrated. This woman went to law school. She was an AG. She was a senator. And then she was vice president. She did everything that she's supposed to do. She went to school, she got educated, and then she went into government. And you are saying that she's a DEI hire? So no matter how we get qualified as black people, it doesn't matter? That's what you're saying to me? That's what we're saying?
It can become complicated because you have mechanisms in the human brain that without care can easily get you caught up in a type of cognitive bias. I'm going to give you one. I think Sid touched on it briefly on it. It's called the halo effect. And it was first found, or you could say it's clearly seen, when people find attractive people more in a more positive light than unattractive people, or certain physical characteristics more personable than other characteristics. So, but when we're talking about psychology, it's very interesting how it plays and how we view politics. So I'm gonna read just a brief period of it. The halo effect is a perception distortion or cognitive bias. So it's how it distorts reality in such a way that it alters your healthy perception of what's real. That affects the way people interpret information about someone with whom they have formed a positive gestalt. Now, gestalt is something in psychology that says that instead of interpreting an individual, a single incident, you look at the pattern as a whole to compute your theory or your mindset of what you think, right? An example of the halo effect is when a person finds out someone they have formed a positive gestalt with has cheated on their taxes. Because of the positive gestalt, the person may dismiss the significance of this behavior. They may even think the person simply made a mistake. The person would justify the behavior and connect it with the other person's positive gestalt. The halo effect refers to the tendency of evaluating an individual positively on many traits because of their shared belief. Mm-hmm. And so you will find this without a doubt in politics when you're talking about maybe a negative aspect of a person and they go to something they find to be just positive. So if you listen to some of Kamala Harris supporters, you'll find that when you bring up some of her questionable prosecutions, they quickly revert to something else, right? They'll go to what she did with the banks or something like that. Right. Something that they feel as though is it going to be a positive reinforcement of their already distorted perception. And you can look at the Trump supporters, you find the same thing. He'll blatantly tell a lie, and you're like, it's before your eyes. And they say, yeah, but he's protecting us against the immigrants.
Right.
Yeah. Right. No, but let before you go no further, let me rebut, because you mentioned two things that I found interesting. Thing number one, you said that when people associate themselves or have similarities with other people, what similarities in belief that black people have with Trump? That's one. And then the number two, I want to answer the second question. You went to Kamala Harris' questionable prosecution when she was AG. And I'm not saying that she don't have questionable prosecution. What I'm saying is that what was sent across the board and what a lot of people was parroting turned out to be a lie. That she locked up thousands of men on marijuana And the truth and the fact, she locked up 45 people on my road. It went from 1,000 to 45. So what does the halo effect has to do with somebody spreading a blatant lie and standing on it?
Because the people that are on, so say like, if that's part of your political party, like you strongly align with them, Trump could do anything. And depending on how strong the influence is, they're gonna make an excuse for it, because that's their tribe. That's their, they identify with this party, with this candidate. So it don't matter what he do, they're gonna find a way to not make it uncomfortable. Cognitive bias.
Let me speak to what.
It's uncomfortable to go against him at this point. You know what I mean?
And let me speak to the creation of narratives. We're in the political frame of reference, and propaganda is a common tool used to sway people to one way or the next. And what you get is intense hyperbole, exaggeration, hyper focus on particular points, what are more or less relevant. So we're in the political arena, and it's up to the general public to navigate and to not throw out the baby with the bathwater. So you are going to continuously get these type of narratives, and increasingly so on both sides, right? Because that unfortunately is the game of politics. It is the ability to make yourself look as favorable as possible and smear your candidate or your opponent as much as possible. Unfortunately, that's the arena we're in. That's why we're having these superficial discussions about the woman's ethnicity, her quote-unquote blackness, when we should be focusing on what type of policy she is going to come with that are going to benefit us. And where's the lobby group of the so-called Black Americans or African Americans who have an agenda with 4, 5, 6, 7 points that they are consistently lobbying for within a collective? That is not a reality either. So it becomes very difficult to get politicians from either side to work specifically on the African Americans we have.
So I wasn't really talking about locking the men for marijuana. I was really talking about her refusal to release inmates after the courts ruled that they were in cruel and inhumane punishment because they needed a workforce to work and to control the forest fires. And that's problematic because we have a constitutional right to resist. To not be in positions where you have to endure cruel and inhumane punishment. The reason why it's significant is because there are Americans who really do find Trump to be a representation of how they really feel. As far as Black America goes, Black Americans has always admired, for the most part, especially in hip hop, Trump's wealth and prestige. He's mentioned in numerous songs. They talk about him all the time. Well, quite frequently, I wouldn't say all the time. But that does not now mean that they would then turn around and support him in politics. And I think that's a misnomer that some people think, that you can support a person in one avenue or field of work and doesn't necessarily mean you want them to be your doctor now. So I could have a person who I like to get in a line as a cashier. That don't mean I'm going to take her medical advice. And so you can definitely admire Trump's business savvy, which many rappers and hip hop artists have done without necessarily being in agreement with his political stance. But some people, especially Black capitalists, would agree with many of Trump's economical policies because it's beneficial to them. Black America is not monolithic.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's it.
Yeah, bear with me. I'm trying to get these headphones together.
Okay, don't worry about it. So that's the point that you can see. Now, if you're into the politics like that and you're overly concerned about taxation and you believe Trump policy would work best for you in that regard, you may turn a blind eye to other things that you would naturally disagree with because you believe that economical freedom is the best for you and your family. And that can become disproportionate. You hear me, Stu Pease?
Yeah, I understand. I hear you. And I was listening to you. And,
Okay.
and this is what I was saying.
It brings to mind a statement I hear Kanye West made when he said in America, discrimination is based on economics and financial resources. So
No, but tell that to the football player on Sunday for Miami Dolphins. He was driving a McLaren S720 or 720S. That's a $300,000 car. He was driving a $300,000 car. And you were treated like bullshit. Even if you watch a video by the police release, when he gave them his license to write the ticket and let me go. And the police was offended. Because how dare a black man talk to an officer like that? And now have to, why are you pulling him out the car?
Because you're showing him that you are the authority at that moment.
That you black man is still a boy.
Yeah, I the big dog here. I don't care what car you're driving. I don't care who you be. I the big dog. I got the badge.
Because that should indicate that this man has the resources to get a lawyer and to defend himself. But it didn't matter. And I'm going to put you down on the hot floor. Sunday was an extremely hot day. That asphalt was more than 100 degrees. And you put down a man in a wife beater on the hot asphalt and held him down there for quite some time. And these are the people that are going to get qualified immunity. When people talk about Trump economic, that is better economically, the tariffs that he introduced on China during his first term was directly passed to the consumer. Goods get more expensive. Right? If you research it, they say it costs a normal middle income family between $1,300 and $1,600 a year extra based on those taxes. The tax relief that he gave were not for poor people; they were for rich people. And when I say black people saying that Trump is going to make things better, it's like it's voters with low awareness of what's actually going on, who are not researching anything. It's the same people who ran with any rumors they heard. I'm not saying Kamala Harris is the best, but I want to give her opportunity to see what she will do because I see what Trump has done, and Trump is more for the rich.
Well, there was some benefits to middle class and such and such.
What benefits?
To Trump tax. I mean, he changed the tax code. I put it in there. I'll tell you, he changed the tax code. So, I mean, I don't, when he changed the tax code, people seen 2 to 3%, I think it was, on their everyday check. Then he also lowered the overall corporate tax rate. But again, I don't want us to just look at, it can't be focused like that. When we focus on as humans, so there's this another function that humans do, and it makes sense if you think about it from an evolutionary psychology point, but it can kind of run amok somewhat, and that is it's a focus bias. It's a focus bias, right? So let me where am I at? Okay, here it is. Let me show this right quick. It's a quick little thing on it. I had already had it pulled up, waiting for it right here. So if you look at this right here, this is another type of bias that exists, and humans do it quite a bit. And the issue is that many times you cannot self-regulate and see that you're doing it or falling into that. And it's called the focusing illusion, right? And so it's a cognitive bias that occurs when individuals place disproportionate importance on one aspect of event or decision, leading them to overestimate its significance. This can result in an exaggerated impact on their overall perception and judgment and contribution to an inaccurate assessment of a situation. The concept was introduced by Daniel Kuhlman and his colleagues' research on subjective well-being and decision-making.
Yeah, but I understand what you're saying when you mention focus bias. But if you read the last two lines of the paragraph that you just read, the one said it's a cognitive, what it is?
It's a cognitive bias.
You're saying that judgment contributing to an inaccurate assessment. That's the most important thing about a focus bias, is that it has to be an inaccurate assessment.
Correct.
No, right. So there was no inaccurate assessment when I said that Trump tax cut benefited the rich. You also mentioned that he lowered the corporate taxes. It benefited the rich. You mentioned that middle class people saw a 2% increase in their paycheck in comparison to what the corporate tax was and how much benefit the upper class get. It was far more significant than the middle and the lower classes. So therefore, that was not an inaccurate assessment. So therefore, focus bias cannot be henceforth applied.
It's
only applied when there's an inaccurate assessment.
Huh?
He wasn't talking about you. He was talking about how in general, make decisions, right? And if you listen well, you just affirmed everything that Chill just said, because we were talking about depending on your personal social class. Again, Black America is not a monolith. You have wealthy Americans, you have middle class Americans, you have poor Americans, and there are some people that are going to focus and be rooted in the capitalist system, and then are going to lean towards Trump because his policies, right, benefit them. That was a clear statement, right? Mm-hmm. And it is a testament to again focus bias, because if you now take a step back and look at the overall picture.
Right. So
hey, you can hear me, Mark?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I'm just making sure. I had to do another connection. Go ahead.
Okay. So I want to give you an example, right? I've heard a lot of critique of President Obama. He hasn't done anything for Black people, right? I'm like, okay, yeah, I feel you. But he extended the reparation bill, or at least the settlement with Black farmers. Right, but because it didn't have a direct impact on those who are in the inner cities and things like that, we don't actually accredit him for doing that very thing, because it doesn't register to us that is equally part of doing something for Black for Black America. And so it's a complicated thing. Do we have a high percentage of Black Americans living in cities? True, that's true, but not all of us. We have Black businesses, we have Black professionals who aren't just in the low and middle class. Some of them are in the upper reaches, and they, without a doubt, stood tall on that. I think Dave Chappelle was making a joke about it, but when he said that tax that Trump helped him, he was dead serious. He's not poor, but he's equally Black.
Right.
When we talk about the diversity of the Black population, the first thing we need to be is concise with how we look at it, the actual breakdown. I'm not saying that we don't have Black billionaires in America, because we do. I'm not saying that we have Black millionaires in America. Yes, we have. I'm not saying that we don't have Black 100,000 years in America. I just made that up. We have. But when we look on the proportion, as when it compared to other population, if other population has 1% of the population being a billionaire, we don't have 1% of our population being a billionaire. So although some people will benefit, it's a small minority of our population will benefit. And when benefits are given, if a few benefit from those, if a few take advantage of those, it's as if nobody takes advantage of it in our population. So although he cut taxes for many persons, and he cut corporate taxes, what significant portion of our population has benefited?
Well, that boils down to how you analyze the data, right?
No, that boils down to the facts. It's not how I analyze it.
No,
It's brought down to, because you disregarded when I talked about the population and how it break down and the disparity. You overjumped that and then went directly to me when you should have said yes. Is it that a let me ask the question the other way. Is it that a significant proportion of black people benefit from Trump policy?
Yes, but the magnitude is
no. So therefore, you're saying that a significant proportion of black people benefit from Trump policy. I need to hear that again.
So if we're talking about the economic policy,
he said yes.
Yes.
He said yes.
He said yes.
If you're only talking about the economic policy with the tax cut, majority of Americans as a whole seen some benefit. Now, was there?
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true, and that's not true. Because this is what you mentioned, two examples, halo effect and the one after it, and you're actually promoting unfactual information because that's not true, and we can research it. That's not true. A significant proportion of black population did not benefit from Trump economic plan, and many in the middle class end up paying more, and we can go on Pew Research and see that. But that, to you, Pew Research going to be propaganda because of the halo effect that you probably have. Because once you said that a significant proportion of black people benefited from Trump policy, you went AWA, you went over the wall, because that is not true. But we can discuss that another time, because that is definitely not true. Trump policy did not benefit.
You gotta let him respond, Stu Pease.
Yeah, respond.
So when we talk about what overall benefits, you have some valid points and some okay. So let's look at what we mean by tax cuts. If I work at a job, I'm a mid-level manager, and I now see for a temporary period of time, $300-400 more. No, let's use about $4,000 more a year over what I used to pay. That is a benefit. Now, how you weigh it makes a difference. So if a person comes to me and say, listen, Trump tax cuts benefited me, so I want to vote for Trump, I'm not going to call him a fool. I'm not going to say you're ignorant because of that, because that's his reality. Just because of my policy and focus may be different than just economic gains or how much money I bring home in a check, in a check, doesn't mean that it's for everybody that way. And so while you may feel that way, right, there are plenty of Black Americans who support Trump because they've seen a benefit from his economic policies. Now, if you say, well, it's just a little bit of people, that's really irrelevant, because some people have, and those people who have want to vote for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the question I asked. And you went off the line, you went around, and you were weaving your argument, because you were disingenuous even with your answer now. Because the question I asked was a simple question. I asked, did the majority of Black people benefit from Trump economic plans and his tax cuts? And you said yes. You should have said some people may have benefit, but the majority did not benefit. When we're having a conversation here, we have to be honest. Because then you use an example that's saying that if somebody is in management in their position, and we can also ask what percentage of Black people are in management in most corporate organizations. So you end up killing yourself with your own example. I'm not saying that nobody benefited, because that would be unfair. Because again, I mentioned first that Black people economically fall in many different classes. I said you have billionaires that are Black, you have millionaires that are Black, you have 100,000 years that are Black. But that is not a significant proportion of the Black population. Now, if the benefit of the few outweigh the benefits of the many, you're okay. Because that's what you're saying. You're saying that I am of the few, and because I'm getting benefited, it outweighs what the many should get. I don't have no problem with you saying that I am for me. I have no problem with you saying that. But be honest with it. Be honest with it. Do not claim that this man is beneficial to the significant proportion of Black people, because it's not.
I didn't say
you,
that.
No, you did not say it in words, but you did not directly say that. But what you did, the example you show is that.
No, that's not.
Of course.
No, it's not. Because you said billions.
You said middle management, but continue.
Right. Million management.
I'll go on mute.
Here it is. The careful analysis of the IRS tax data, one that includes the effects of the tax credits and other.
No. You cannot use that newspaper. You cannot. That source is not a viable source. The Hill is not a viable source.
Hey, Stu Pease, hold on.
No, the Hill is.
Stu Pease, I don't want to mute you, man. But we're gonna keep it orderly, all right? I don't. Go ahead. We let you finish, so you gotta go ahead and let him finish too. I'm gonna bring you. I'm unmute you, but just keep it orderly, bro.
Kick me off. Because the Hill is not a viable source.
I'm not gonna kick you off.
No, because you're known to use propaganda. The Hill is a propaganda newspaper. We all know that.
Hey, Stu Pease, you gotta take the emotion out of it, though.
I'm not emotional. I'm just speaking the truth. You're alone to use the Hill. You cannot use the Hill.
No, hold on. But you gotta say that after he finishes his point.
No, but
hold on.
You're going to allow a man to tell a lie before you correct him on the lie?
Hold on. Let him get it out. We're having a conversation, Stu Pease, so you gotta let him get it out.
But I'm not going to allow him to use a lie. I'm not going to allow him to tell a lie.
Do that after he finishes.
No, you can't do that. There's no conversation that use a lied source. But continue.
Come on, brother.
That's how you do things.
Stu Pease. Yeah, come on, bro. You know what I mean? Hold on a minute. We got another pseudo killer official in the building.
Get his ass off, man. Stu Pease wilding out, man. Get him out of here, man. Stop it, Stu Pease.
Okay.
Come on.
We're gonna read
gentleman's game, man.
Hey, look, I want him to get his. You know what I mean?
He want to get kicked. No, hey Kent, they really want to get kicked off, so they can go say, "Yo, they kicked me off."
No, we ain't gonna make it that. We ain't gonna make it that easy, man. Let him Marcus get his in, and then you respond to that if you need to, Stu.
So let's see if the Hill is a credible paper, yo. Let's just see. We can look that up, right?
Oh, you want to do that first?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll do that first.
That's how you do that.
Now, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button.
Okay,
man.
in the meantime, I want to.
Go ahead.
In the meantime, I want to reiterate that what the point was is that how individuals vote and some of the parameters that the individual would use. Now, based on your economic position, you might simply choose to vote for Trump based on his policies benefiting you. No one was claiming that his overall tax policies benefited the lower class, and that wasn't the argument being made, right? Because we are analyzing how people vote, and people vote as individuals. I made a point that we don't have a bloc that is lobbying for 5 or 6 points by either political party. So as it stands, Black America is not a monolith. These are some of the points that we were bringing up, right, to create the discussion. However, nobody was taking the position of, well, I can vote for Trump because I upper middle class. No, that wasn't the argument being made. And Chill was illustrating some of the fallacies employed when making these decisions. So there is no debate taking place here. This is an analysis of how things function. So we don't need to argue.
So I'm going to put.
Can y'all see the screen?
Hold on, let me take my
Hold
thing.
on. Hold on, I got you. Hold on.
You see it?
Yeah, ChatGPT 4.0. That's the.
Yeah, it's the Hill of credible paper. Say the Hill is generally considered a credible and reliable source for political news and analysis, particularly in the U.S. Of politics. It has a reputation for being relatively nonpartisan, aiming to cover both sides of the political spectrum. It say the outlet is frequently used as a source by other reputable news organizations. However, as in any media outlet, it's good to be critical. To be critical of individual articles and editorial perspectives can vary depending on the topic or writer. For balanced information, it's often recommended to consult a range of sources, even if the Hill is credible overall. So you want to get kicked off the panel for that, huh, bro? Yeah, you just out of control, Stu Peas. I ain't got time for that, yo.
So
y'all got time for that. I got time for that, yo. Like it's a gentleman's game. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to berate a person's character. He berated the man's character. Right? And just to find out that he's out of his mind. That's why he howling and screaming. Right, dude? Why you howling and screaming, CPs? Why you do all that?
You know, that's why they say don't talk about politics and
religion and politics and religion, because that was that. I'm sitting here going, first of all, Marcus is the last person of the pseudo killers that is going to bring an uncredible source. And of course, he doesn't have one source. He has probably 3 or 4 sources. This is just the first one that he pulled up. I mean, this is Marcus we're talking about here, Stu Peas. Get serious.
Come on back, Stu Peas. You ain't had to.
Come back. Your perspective is
but you can't downgrade a person's character, yo.
Of course.
Because you don't understand what the hell he reading from. Because you didn't listen to some wild pseudo that says something different. He using propaganda. I ain't gotta let him talk. Come on, bro. What the hell you think you at? This ain't Mr. Gilmore property. He's on the pseudo killers, man. And when we're in discussions of Black Egypt and politics and religion, yo, it has to be a gentleman's game.
Facts. Yeah, facts. Even Sister Safa, she's a strong supporter of a certain candidate, and she can even have
she ain't no strong.
You know what I mean? So
what time did the debate start though?
Oh, it started in about 5 minutes. I wanted Marcus to get us. Yeah, well, no, we can't. I don't think we could play it without getting struck for the copyright thing. So maybe y'all to do a y'all want to do an after show or something?
I want to go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, I asked ChatGPT that. I was like, yo, can you? Cause I was gonna stream the joint, but it says something about you got to get permission from the whoever hosting it or whatever. So CNN is hosting it, you got to get permission from that, or you can like we could do an after joint and then do like little clips or whatever. So
okay,
yeah, we can't do it like I thought. Hey, look, we could have streamed that joint. We was on it.
We can stream it in the server though, can't we?
yeah, you can do that though.
Yep.
You can do that for sure.
Go ahead, Mark. Get your source in real quick. That you was I think you. What was you trying to prove with this, or what was your message?
It just gives an overall thing about Trump's policies and how they got the analysis from the first year. So I don't understand how people can say it worked or didn't work if the first year tax data is just now being analyzed now. Though you can see some residual effects of it, especially with the inflation. But nevertheless, I personally know plenty of small Black business owners who thought that Trump policies benefited them significantly enough that they'd be willing to vote for him again if other aspects of his policy wasn't so crude. And that's just a reality. We've always had Black capitalists. Remember that James Brown Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud was used by Nixon, right, to promote Black capitalists, Black blanks, and Black, what's the word they used? They used self-sufficiency. They also used it to reverse the responsibility of racist policies back onto Black people. But there are people who benefited from that from other things that Trump has done, especially at the beginning of the COVID. And that's just the reality of the situation. I've heard a lot of black people talk about all that money they made during COVID. And some of them accredit that to Trump, some of them accredit to Biden. When you focus on a single, point, that's where the focus illusion comes from. When you look at one single point of a person, that's the halo effect. When you then take that point and overextend it to every quality of a person may have. And we don't have to really fight that because we see it happening today in just general conversations. So these are some of the things that we just have to be aware of on how the psychology work of politics, the us versus them, the feeling of being accepted by those who belong to the same political party.
Facts.
That's just the reality of what we're dealing with, right? So you can become hyper polarized based on these things. There's another thing that it takes effect, and this is the last one out. Stu Pease made some valid points though, because if you look at it from, I'm a Pan-African, so I don't look at things solely as my own personal benefit, right? I look at things like, will this benefit the community in which I live in? And I don't live in an all-black neighborhood either, so that includes other ethnic groups.
Right.
But that's because I have a collective mindset more so than I do an individualistic mindset. Stu Pease will probably be a collectivist. So he's looking at the overall group of people together, not the individual people. The problem is that not all Black America feel that way. And so there are equally people who look at their own individual circumstances who are not looking at the collective group as a whole, but looking at their own individual circumstances and what benefits them. And that's equally a human function. You know, you have collective societies, individualist societies, and you have some blending between the two in both places. So that's just what it is. But I think we should look at this other effect, and then I'm gonna pass it off to everybody else. Let y'all go ahead and deal with that one. And this one is the mere exposure effect.
You sharing or you just going?
Yeah, I just switched it over.
All right, hold on. All right.
And this brings in social media, and what the algorithms actually do, and how the combination of this is causing, or at least there's some correlation, you could say, in this hyper polarized situation. 24-hour news has changed a lot of this. The mere exposure effect is a simple and widely studied psychological phenomenon. The more you are exposed to something, the more you tend to like it. Mm-hmm. And the mere exposure effect works. It changes your preferences, even if you're not being aware, even if you are not aware of being exposed. The effect influences your liking of everything from people to songs to colors. The impact of the mere exposure effect on politics should be obvious, but surprisingly, not a lot of studies have been conducted on this. The mere exposure of fake news on voting behavior have been documented, but the mere exposure effects on a much basic level, mere exposure to images of politicians will, other things being equal, make you like the politician more. It's a scary thought, and one that with dire consequences. First, let's see how the mere effect work. I'm gonna leave it at that. So basically, what they're saying is, the more you're exposed to those things, the more likely you are to accept it. And because the algorithm works by feeding you what you already like, it just becomes a big loop, a big feedback. causing you to like it more and more and more, and build up a vigorous a fever on your political moves and political views.
True
And that's
indeed.
what happens. Stu Pease is back.
Yeah. All right. I'm so sorry I got cut off. I was driving. But that article from The Hill, which I read before, was written by Justin Hawkins. That's
True.
why when I saw it, now we're going to ask a question. Who is Justin Hawkins and what institute he's CEO of?
The Heartland Institute.
Which is a?
The Heartland Institute.
Which is a?
I said it's the Heartland Institute.
Yeah, which is a? Continue.
I can't
which
hear
is
you.
He's saying which is a what?
Which is a conservative think tank.
Okay.
So his article. All right. Continue. Let me shut up.
That's my point. Did you see what you just did? Just because it's a conservative institute, that don't mean they wrong. That doesn't mean it's wrong because it belongs to a conservative institute. That's not what that means. Like we can't like that's part of the issue that I'm trying to describe. Like we can't do it. Both sides have what we call fluff, right? They're going to point to their position based on that, and I understand all that.
Okay.
But even when you look at in case you didn't know, they already told you that. I've already looked up the guy.
Okay. Can I finish speaking? Because you allow me to come in and you cut me off. So let me just finish. Because I'm going to use an example. If we go to Jabari, which is a black Egyptologist, and we ask him to write an article. No. Let me finish. And
you said what? You don't know Egyptologist?
No. He's a black person. He promotes. He's known to promote
Blackologist.
Right.
Blackologist.
He's a blackologist. And we ask him to write an opinion piece on Egypt. What is he going to say? Would you trust his writings, Bobby Banger?
No.
Would you trust?
No.
So why should we now take a known person? Is not an ordinary conservative, you know. This person carried to a different level. He's in charge of a conservative think tank. If we are going to be honest with our thinking, we have to carry it straight across the board. If we couldn't trust Jabari with what he says, because who he is and where he takes his stand, we cannot trust Mr. Hawkins. So we have to throw out that article. That article is a nonsense article that this dude bring up from a biased source. No, you're saying two pieces don't have any sense, but that is how I see it, because that is how Bobby Banger would have seen it if it's a different subject area.
Yeah, that is what I was just going to say. That is a category fallacy. My political position, being a strong conservative, doesn't mean that numbers are going to lie.
Oh gosh.
So me being an economist, for example, by profession, right, doesn't mean that my assessment of a tax system is going to be biased based on my conservative view. What is conservatism? Conservatism doesn't equal capitalism. Democrat or more left wing doesn't mean you're not capitalist either, right? So again, these hardline position that you're taking doesn't allow for actual analysis. This is what we call focus bias.
No, and it is not focus bias. But continue. Sorry to interrupt you. My apologies.
Check it out. So what we might do, right? Let's do another show after the debate and continue this conversation. That way we don't miss none of what's going on.
So I just want to just say this. This is the actual data set that he used. See, that's the difference, right? So I took my time. I went and looked at the data set. So based on the data set that he used, he ain't lying. This is what happened in the 2018 data set. We can see it for
that's a simplification of the actual data. You're not seeing the actual data. That's a simplification of the actual data. Anybody knew the research know that that's a simplification of the data. They can't bring that to me.
Hey,
right?
keep that same energy, Stu Peas. We're gonna bring it back.
Because
and
I need
take
to
the
cut off
wheels
some
off the
heads.
goalpost.
It's stupid.
Take the wheels off the goalpost when you come back.
No, I don't take the wheels off the goalpost because you're doing that. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing because you're applying different principles for different people.
No.
That's what you're doing.
Absolutely.
Wow. Bobby Banga didn't refute me. That's what you're doing.
Hey, look, man, we appreciate everybody who tuned in. Man, we're gonna go ahead and watch the debate, man. We probably gonna come back afterwards. So hey, I hit that like button, man, and I appreciate everybody coming out, man. Peace out.
Peace out.